All right, guys, you know what time it is. It's time for our remake, reboot news of the week. Funny enough, I was going to discuss about the remake happening for the 1984 slasher classic Silent Night, Deadly Night, but then another remake was brought to my attention that I had to put on the forefront. So perhaps we will talk about that one next week. This week, however, we're going to be discussing how Ryan Gosling is reportedly producing Killer Klowns from Outer Space reboot for Amazon. I'm sorry, what? Say that again in my good ear. Time out. You say Ryan Gosling? You know what? Let's see how this goes. First of all, Killer Klowns from Outer Space is a hilariously campy, fun horror comedy from the 1980s. Okay? Literally about what it says. Clowns who came to Earth from outer space with different gadgets like popcorn guns, cotton candy cocoons, acid pies, and all other kind of fun things. Like their methods of like death and torture were hilarious. They were fun. First of all, this movie's a cult classic. And the only weird thing is that nothing else has happened since that movie. They talked about a TV series at one point. They talked about a 3D sequel happening, and even like a planned sci-fi original movie. This is all over the course of the years, ever since the movie came out. But none of it has ever come to fruition. And the most funniest thing is the closest thing that they've been able to do since Killer Klowns from Outer Space is a video game follow-up, which I didn't know about, and now I want to play. So Jeff Snyder is the one who broke the story. According to his report, Ryan Gosling is on the board to produce a new Killer Klowns from Outer Space project for Amazon MGM Studios. I need to do a little detective work real quick, because it's not that I don't trust Ryan Gosling. It's that I don't trust Ryan Gosling with horror comedy. Yeah, okay. So he's definitely done comedy, okay? He's done comedy, he's done romance, he's done action, sci-fi. What I haven't seen him do a lot of is horror. No, Crazy Stupid Love was amazing. It was funny. Lars and the Real Girl, oh, that was so good. The Notebook. Yeah, no. He didn't really do any horror type stuff like that. It's not really his bag. Now, the good thing is comedy beats and horror beats are kind of similar, and it's all about how they're edited. So there's a transition that I can get beside. And it's not saying that Ryan is writing it or directing it. It's saying that he's a producer. Let's read on a little bit more before we make any judgments. Amazon bought MGM Studios in 2022, automatically giving them the rights to Killer Klowns from Outer Space. So MGM has had that movie for all these years and it's been sitting on it. They haven't done anything with it. Amazon is ready to make the plunge. So I guess I have to give them props for that. However, when you're talking about a 1980s campy horror comedy movie, you have to really approach with delicacy. It's a product of its time, not something easily replicable. You know what I mean? The Chioda brothers have been trying to get a franchise continuation off the ground since way back in the late 1980s when the original movie came out. And there's been an endless stream of merchandise and prime product placement on Spirit Halloween's shelves. You know what? I could go for more Killer Klowns merch. I could. Figurines, t-shirts. Oh my gosh. Now I want a t-shirt. Okay, so here's my other issue. The Killer Klowns themselves, their looks are so iconic. Like, how do you do better with that? And then it's like, you have to remake it as a horror comedy. Because if you make it as a horror, you know, clowns coming from outer space to kill and eat people, it's just another version of It. which was already done better. So in It, the 1990 version, you had Tim Curry as It, and you saw how his makeup and look was performed. It looked great. Then they updated his look, right, with what's his name? What is his name? It'll probably come to me later when I'm like sitting on the couch. If I don't look it up. I know I can just look it up right now, but I don't feel like it. Leave me alone. I appreciate both looks, but with the cartoonishly exaggerated looks of the Killer Klowns from Outer Space, I don't know. How do you improve upon that? It's part of the love. It's so great because it's like something is off about them, but I don't know. And are they going to rely on CGI? You know what the problem is too? A lot of movies from the 80s and 90s were mostly practical effects or puppet work. You still had visual effects, and graphics, but they relied more heavily on that. So when you remake them and you just replace it with like CGI that's either cheaper or easier to do, it takes away. That being said, I don't want... Okay, at one point, they had a little popcorn they would sprinkle in the garbage. And the popcorn is actually like these little versions of them. They're like these like little stick things with like clown heads on the end that like eat. And I'm like, they did that with puppet work for sure. Are they going to then do that with like CGI? I know I sound old and bitter. I'm just old and only slightly bitter. So Stephen Chiodo had explained back in 2021, we've been trying to get the sequel going since 1988. So they've been trying. And Hollywood is just a horrible machine. Yes. The film didn't really get much box office. And when you want to get a sequel done, they look at the box office. They don't regard cult films as something to invest in. Exactly the problem. They overlook the importance of a cult film. In the fairness of studios, which I do not like having to defend corporations, they don't have the DVD, Blu-ray market to lean back on. Some of our favorite cult classics became these things after the fact. Like they weren't big in theaters, but they became big later on, like on DVD, Blu-ray. Shawshank Redemption, I believe it bombed in the box office, but that's literally like one of the best movies and on a lot of people's lists. So as of right now, everything has to be like an instant hit in the box office. But they also don't even give it time to be a big hit in the box office. Like they're not doing as much marketing as they used to do. They're not. Unless it's like a huge major movie. They are only allowing it to be in the movie theaters for like less than 3 months. If that. It's immediately available on streaming in some instances. And streaming does not give them as much money as theater experiences do. And the theater going experience has become so expensive that you have to also think about what you're going to see in the theater. So there's a lot of factors as to why there has not been a Killer Klowns from Outer Space sequel now. But there could have been 15 years ago, 20 years ago. Not only did Steven want to do a sequel, but there was like a trilogy in mind with like 4 parts where we're following different characters and a TV series that follows the adventures of the characters after the whole clown invasion. Now, how that would have went down, I don't know. Because how do you do a Killer Klowns spinoff without Killer Klowns? They like defeated them. They blew them up. Unless there was a whole plan of Killer Klowns that were like, hey, what happened to our buddies? Where they been at? And they come go looking. I don't know. But I would have checked out some concept art. I'll read an outline. I'll give it a chance. Now for this, but I could see like a younger Ryan Gosling playing the thick-headed main character who was trying to save his girlfriend from the Killer Klowns. But Ryan Gosling's older now, so I'm wondering if they're going to age up everybody, or if he's going to play a different character. Is he playing somebody's dad? Is he just trying to produce it and he wants to be involved? Like, I'm assuming he wants to be in it, because normally an actor producing anything is putting themselves in it, because duh, why wouldn't you? So we'll see. I'm very surprised that it's Ryan Gosling pushing for this, but perhaps he's trying to do a pivot and he wants to explore other avenues. He's done romance, he's done drama, he's done comedy. Now he wants to kind of dip his toes in horror with a horror comedy. So we'll see. We shall see. I do not like, though, them messing with my 80s camping. We'll see. You guys want to check this out if it does come, if it happens, because right now it's just in the wind is talking. We're not entirely sure if it's happening, but I think it's happening. We'll see. Let me know if you guys want to watch this. I'm not saying yes. I'm not saying no. Maybe. Hey guys, quick aside. If you like what you're seeing and you like what you're hearing, feel free to give the video a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you can always be up to date on what's going on. And for those who don't know, I'm a writer, director, and producer with my own series, The Zombie Chronicles, which you can also check out on Amazon Prime or Tubi. And those looking for a way to help support further, you can check out my Patreon, NXG Global Productions, where I discuss more movie reviews, access to clips of my writers group recordings, first look at behind the scenes, shout outs on social media, posts, and more. I'm looking to grow the community and would love to have you be a part of it. Plug over.